Hi, this is Janet Wakeland with RemarkablyCreated.com and the Remarkable Stampers. I'm excited to bring you this new feature on my blog called My Digital Studio Mondays. On Mondays together we will create a project in My Digital Studio. It will be a card, a scrapbook page, a tag, a piece of art, a simply adorned insert, lots and lots of different options that we will have to play with together on Mondays. Today our first feature is going to be this beautiful scrapbook page that you see in front of you. It features a snowstorm that we recently experienced here in Pennsylvania. So what I've done is we're going to start first with a blank piece of white paper, and I just drug a piece of white cardstock and it filled the background. And then we've added a photo box, and to do that you click on photo box and it brings a photo box over, and then you size the photo box to the size that you want it to be. I love using the rulers to help guide me in making the photo, in this instant a 5x7, the way I want it to be. If you're not seeing a ruler on your own My Digital Studio work surface, just click on the little ruler up here on the top toolbar. You can see where that turns it on and off. In addition, if you go up under View, you can turn the ruler on and off that way. And then under Edit and under Preferences, you can set your preference for the ruler, whether it's in metric or inches. So I click on Photo, and that opens the Browse button, and I can then open the photo folder that I want to work with. This is the photo that we're going to be scrapbooking, and I'm going to drag it into my box. And you're going to notice that this photo is color and the one on our scrapbook page is black and white. That's going to allow me to show you one of my favorite features of My Digital Studio, and that's our photo editing. What I'm going to do here is click on Photo Effect, Black and White, OK, and now it's changed my photo to black and white. Double left click on it, and it's just going to bring it up and allow me to crop it. I can slide this left and right. I, of course, can make it bigger and smaller, but I want the fence in it because I like that in the foreground. So we're going to bring that over like that. One thing I want to point out is if you look to the left, my original photo is left in its folder. I love that because I still have that original photo for future projects. I never have to worry about ruining an original project. What it does when I drag a photo over, it creates a new photo for me to work with specific to this project. So I absolutely love that feature. Now what we want to do is we want to work with cardstock or designer series paper, either one. And my personal favorite way to work with that is with photo boxes. Within My Digital Studio, there are several ways to accomplish different things. The ways that you use will be probably based on how you learn it or what you're comfortable with. Does not necessarily make it right or wrong. It's just a personal comfort level. And for me, I love working with photo boxes when it comes to papers because it gives me all of the features that photos enjoy in terms of making them different colors, natting them, cropping them, all of that great stuff. So right now, I just kind of threw 3 boxes on there. We'll adjust them again in just a second after we fill them with paper, and then I'm going to bring them all together so there's no white space. The designer series paper, you click on the cardstock look here, and the paper that I'm going to be working with is from Convention 2011. It is exclusive to demonstrators. One of the wonderful things that Stampin'UP has been doing for us is designing My Digital Studio templates around our special demonstrator only events. These colors, however, are also available as in-color cardstock and in-color designer series papers. So you can still get these beautiful colors. So let's go ahead and pull this one over first, and we're going to fill our first box. And then we are going to pull this one over. Because I started with a photo box and I sized the photo box first, when I add my paper, it maintains its dimensions, and I love that. Had I started with something really small and then enlarged it, it would have distorted it. So now we've got these papers the way that I want them to be and the color order that I want them to be in. We're going to bring them together. Now I want to line these papers up, so I'm going to add the grid like this, and it's still kind of hard to see if they're lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom in, and that's going to allow me to use this grid to help me line it up just the way I want it to be, just like so. I'm not going to worry about down here at the moment because I'm going to actually be adding one more piece. So the grid is a great feature, and now I can go back to my window and I can take my grid off, and I'm going to add another photo box just like this to the bottom and bring it in to line up. This is especially, the grid is especially wonderful to work with if you forget many times like I do to bring your old lady glasses to the table. They're not necessarily old lady glasses, but that's what I like to call them. And let's just add our last piece of paper just like that. Now the next thing that we want to do is we want to add some stamp images, specifically snowflakes. My favorite way to add stamps is to use the stamp icon up here on the toolbar because it gives me a search feature. And what I find is that I'm utilizing my stamps more by using the stamp feature as opposed to always going to having my go-to favorites. When you use the, and excuse that warning, I can tell you about that later. When you use this feature here, it brings up this box which has a search feature. I've typed the word snowflake in it, and the way the search feature works is it identifies the names that are assigned to the image. So this has serene, snowflake, and snowflake. So if I typed in the word serene, they would have come up. Snowflakes, they would have come up, or the word snowflake. Had I been looking for red ribbon under embellishments, everything red and everything labeled ribbon would have come up. So now what it does again is it brings up all of my snowflakes, and instead of always having to go to the stamp set that I happen to remember the name of, now I'm more likely to utilize all of those wonderful purchases that I have made and I have added to my collection of my digital studio. So let me just finish adding a few more great snowflakes, and notice I'm just hitting apply. I always choose more than I intend on using, because that way I don't have to go back to this box. It's just as easy to delete them off of the screen. And you will notice that the snowflakes come in all different sizes, but they come in as black. So let's go ahead and let's enlarge the first one. And pixelation, sometimes it looks pixelated, sometimes it doesn't. It will be a personal thing. And I'm going to color match all of my snowflakes to the paper on them. That's the way I'm going to choose to color them. And let's go ahead and color this one. And then lastly, let's color this one. You could also match it to using the standard way of adding color with the change color that way. So again, I'm trying to show you some different features and just showing you that's exactly how I did it, because I wanted it to be a really good match. Let's move that one over here, and let's put this one here. We're going to make this one fairly large. And the other thing that we're going to do is I wanted it to appear more as a watermark, and I just wanted it to be soft. So we're going to do that. We're going to change the opacity, which is what just kind of gives it that shadowy effect on the piece of paper. And now what we're going to do is we're going to send it back, which is going to put it behind the photo. This one we're going to leave in the front, just like so for now. And we'll just kind of position it up in there. The other thing that I'm going to do real quickly is just add a little bit of a drop shadow. And I don't want it to be black, because it is snow and it is soft. We're just going to change that to gray, and we'll add a little bit of a shadow around that one. And then this one we're going to bring in here, make it a little bit bigger so it has a little bit of an impact. And again, just a little bit of a hint of a drop shadow. And gray. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work with a tag, and the tag that we're going to work with is from Lots of Shapes. And we're going to just grab that little corner and twist it 35 degrees. And we'll go ahead and make it a little bit, that's too fast, not very great. A little longer, just like so. And I'm going to color match that as well. And then the next thing that we want to do is we want to add text. This is one of my other features within My Digital Studio. My Digital Studio does not come with any of its own text. Instead, it works with any TrueType font, which is great because there are hundreds of free fonts available out there. And let's just go ahead and type this spell form right. It also has spell check for it, which is a wonderful feature. It doesn't check grammar, unfortunately, which is my downfall. And let's just make that 16. We want to be able to read it. And now let's bring that down to our tag. Grab the corner and rotate it as well to 35 degrees. Okay. I guess we're going to need to rotate it more. I'm going to go just like that and put it on here. And then I want to go ahead and I want to add a glimmer brad. So I've opened up my embellishments, and now I have my turquoise glimmer brad, and we're going to add that right there. And then in the interest of time, I'll just very quickly show you how I did the other fancy area here. Let's just copy this, open this page back up. I love this feature as well too, that you can move images from one page to the next. Paste. And then what I did here was I went ahead and I typed the entire quote first in my basic Vivus font. I right justified it, and then I went back and I highlighted the words that I wanted to change the color of, color matching them, and then the words that I wanted to use in a different font, then I went back and I highlighted them and I played with the different font. And this one happens to be a font called Mr. Wade. So that's what I did, and there you go. There's your basic page for you, created in My Digital Studio. Hopefully you'll stop back on Mondays now and join with me in making a fun project. Have a great day, and God bless.